5 years. Can you believe it? I've transitioned socially, publicly 5 years ago. Wow, it has went by so fast. So, in fact, so fast that I'm literally 3 months behind on this 5-year video. So, to first start, I want to go through like 4 different areas today. I want to talk about the things that have changed with me, and I also want to talk about the things that have remained the same, as well as some of the things that I'm really proud of that I've accomplished for myself, as well as some of the things that, I'm continuing to work on and make progress towards. So let's dive right in. I started out being a Republican. Now I'm a Democrat, and that is a weird thing, right? A shift in mindset. But when you think about it, there's this viewpoint of kind of more of a traditional viewpoint on how people should be represented, and that we all come and progress, and it's based on your choices. And the reality is after living a different experience and a different lived experience, there are many factors that are outside of an individual's control. So Republican viewpoint no longer makes sense for me, and more of a Democratic viewpoint where people from different backgrounds are starting at different places. So I think this has been one big change. I think the second thing that's been really big for me is that, when I can express myself and I can show up, that means that I'm more stable. I'm much more stable. I certainly have my ups and downs where sometimes I'm feeling really, really high and sometimes I'm feeling very low, and that's normal. But I would also say that in general, it's a much steadier view. And I've been in this place for 3 years. Before this, I lived in over 10 different places around the world. So I was always moving. I was always, running. And now it feels like I can put my feet down, and I really do love New York. The third one is emotional awareness. I've really gained a significant amount of awareness about myself and my emotions. Earlier pre-transition and even early on transition, I wasn't able to process the depth of information, the depth of feelings that I was feeling to the same extent that I can now. So, that's still something that I'm working on with my professional coach, is how do I get more specific? How do I really name those emotions besides the big ones of fear and happiness and joy? And how do I go to the ones that are deeper, like anguish and disappointment, and I'm still learning more. So I feel like I've really stepped forward though in my emotional awareness and emotional growth. I think another thing that's changed is that I was always a little bit shy before, and I think in certain groups, in certain situations, I'm much more shy. I don't know what it is, but I'm not afraid, or I always feel like I'm like hesitating on myself, and in these like larger big groups where other people can be out and be themselves completely. This isn't all the way true. In New York, there are so many LGBTQ organizations, and I feel like I can bring my whole self. It's just there's still like a mental block that I'm working on to show up in these larger groups. I think the fifth one is around passing, and me passing as female. You see me right now, I look maybe more female than otherwise, but the reality is on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm showing up to the office without any makeup on, with my hair tied up, and it's quite a different look, and I'm okay not passing and having kind of more this gender fluid experience. I think early on in year 1, 2, 3, it was always like really push hard to show up in a feminine way, and now it's more of expressing myself the way that I want to, and also that I need to. And then I think the last thing that's changed is that I care more about people. I can sit down because I've processed a lot of things internally. I still have many more to go. I can sit down with somebody and have a conversation, understand where they're coming from, hold space for them, and I really care about people. Before, I couldn't care about myself, so much less how could I care about other people. So those are the things that have changed. What about the things that have stayed the same? I still love adventures. I've traveled this year. I just got back from Europe, which was incredible. I was in Colombia earlier this year, Central America for a little bit. I love adventures. That remains the same. Sports. I love playing sports. Yes, the sports that I play change. I no longer play basketball or soccer. I was considering joining one of the leagues here, but it's a different point. I love rollerblades. rollerblading. I've gotten into running. I love ice skating. I've gotten into kiteboarding, which is more in the adventure piece. I think the second thing that hasn't really changed is my aspirations to add the most value to a company that I work at and to continue to see my career progress in a meaningful way. That has certainly been a very, very strong point for me to continue to move forward. I think the third thing is that pre-transition, I liked women, cis women, women identifying individuals, and now I still like the exact same. And I would say, yes, I've explored some other kind of types of relationships, but I feel much more comfortable, and for me, my sexual orientation and also around monogamy has remained the same. So, and then the last one is, I would say I remain more or less a capitalist, which you might be asking yourself, Maddie, how can you be a capitalist and a Democrat? And I think capitalism is the structure of allowing people and the best ideas to be moved forward and to be rewarded. But I also think the democratic sense of there has to be a more equal distribution. You can't have these huge ranges. So those are some of the things that have stayed the same in regards to achievements that I'm proud of. I think, the first one is my LGBTQ contributions. I feel like I've really doubled down, whether that's at work in our company ERG, some of our social organizations in New York. I've really tried to step up there and help as much as possible, and just mentoring as well. Mentoring some of the things that career. I talked about being the same. I love helping people with that, and I love mentoring in that capacity. I think the second thing is for me, related to finance. I feel like it's an accomplishment for me to have transitioned and continue to be a presence in finance. It hasn't always been easy, but I really do. I love finance, and I love the work that I do, and the people that I work with, I'm very grateful for. I think also I'm generally healthier mentally and physically, and I don't put my body through the same kind of rigors that I used to put my body through, body or mind. I still have a lot of mind gymnastics that I do that I'm trying to unwind a little bit, but generally I would consider myself healthier. And then the next one I would say is I'm a much better friend, and we were talking about caring more about other people, and I think I'm proud of being more of a friend, being more of that consistent person that's following up with people. And then I would say the last piece is I don't weigh so much on my career, I don't weigh so much on my relationships, I don't weigh so much on my personal hobbies. I feel like I have a much more balanced aspect. So those are all the achievements. And then in regards to in progress, and if you watched a few of the other videos, this is certainly one thing that I continue to make progress on and take steps backwards. So I would love having a partner and building a family, and that's something that I want to continue to work towards. I think also ego is another aspect. There are many times where I wish I could just let go of these beliefs and images that I'm holding about myself that aren't serving me or serving the people around me. So I'm trying to really find that balance between showing up confidently as myself and being a stable person, and also elevating other people. That's certainly a challenging one. I think the other one is being a little bit looser, shaking it out and really just having fun. I know before I transitioned, there are many times where I would you feel like you could just let loose. I know I stopped drinking, and this is back to the healthier thing, but I stopped drinking, and I wonder that's a chance for people to let loose, and I don't have that, and I need to give myself permission. So that's one thing that's in progress. And then I think the last one is around purpose and just having a general purpose. I support my family and friends to the extent that I can. I contribute to the things that have caused me pain and the things that I really care about. I feel like I've opened up my horizon, but sometimes at the end of the day, you're okay, well, what is this for? What is this meaning? So that's still something that I'm continuing to refine and build and work towards. So thank you for listening. I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes kind of going through, or a few minutes going through some video montage. I think for me early on, and when I transitioned transitioned or before I even made the decision, one of the things that I was really afraid of was not being accepted, not being loved, not being successful. And I think all of those things can come to fruition regardless of the environment. You just have to find the right people, spend the energy, go where people want you. And it's not always easy, and people don't always want you. There's a lot of challenges that come with transitioning. So hope this was helpful. 5 years overall, I would say I'm a completely different person in general. I would say I have so much more compassion and empathy, and these were things and emotions that I didn't have before. I would also say that I have a lot of growth areas, and I really need to continue to focus on those and prioritize those. So thank you for listening.